Welcome back, dear children. So in the last video we have discussed about the equations for work, isn't it? So what was the equation? It is W is equal to Fs cos theta, where force is F stands for force, S stands for displacement, and theta stands for the angle between the force and the displacement. Okay, so Fs cos theta or F cos theta S. In general, we'll write it as Fs cos theta. Clear? Force, displacement, force into displacement into cos theta. And what does theta stands for? Theta is the angle formed between force and displacement. If force and displacement are in the same direction, theta will be equal to 0. Else, there will be a value for theta. So theta is the angle between force and the displacement. Okay. Now we are having three different cases. It's very important. Three important cases. So children, you can write the lecture note of this portion since it's very important. Okay. So please write the lecture note. Case 1. So in the first case, let force and displacement are in the same direction. Okay. Force and displacement are in the same direction. If F and S are in the same direction, what about the value for theta? I told you theta is the angle formed between force and displacement. Force is like this, displacement is in the same direction. If both are in the same direction means there is no angle between F and S. That means theta will be equal to 0. Isn't it? If F and S are in the same direction, theta will be 0. And how much is cos 0? You have learned the values, isn't it? Cos 0 will be equal to 1. Cos 0 is 1. So what is our equation for work? Cos theta, instead of cos theta we are getting 1. So work is equal to F into S. Okay. And in this case, we will be having the maximum work and we can say that the work done is positive. Okay. Maximum work done is positive. So once again, we have some special cases to calculate work. First thing, when force and displacement are in the same direction. If force and displacement are in the same direction, theta will be equal to 0. Cos 0 is equal to 1. So the equation for work is F into S. Okay. So it's very important. Equation will be W is equal to F into S. Then you can say that the work is positive. Okay. You'll call it as positive work. And then here maximum work will be there if both are in the same direction. Now we have two examples for this. Okay. So consider free fall. What is the importance of free fall? If a body is coming down only due to the gravitational force, we will be calling it as free fall. Okay. The force acting, if the force acting on a falling body is only gravitational force, that is known as free fall. Now here, when a body comes down, who is exerting the force here? Gravity, isn't it? So, Earth is exerting the gravitational force. And what about the direction of the force? Earth is pulling the body downward. That means force is acting in the downward direction. Then, what about the movement? What about the direction of motion of the object? Body is also coming downward. That means force and displacement both are acting in the downward direction. Okay. So it is an example for case 1. In the case of free fall, a body is coming down. It is moving downward. Force is also acting in the downward direction. So it is an example for a positive work. Now another one, a coolie lifting a load above his head. So when this person is lifting a load, in which direction is he exerting force? He is exerting force in the upward direction. In which direction is the load moving? load is also moving in the upward direction, isn't it? So force is exerted in the upward direction, at the same time the load is also moving in the upward direction. That means here also the work done is positive. Okay, so please be thorough with this concept. If force and displacement are in the same direction, theta will be equal to 0 and the work done will be positive or maximum, which is equal to F into S. Two simple examples: a coolie raising a load above his head. Force and displacement are in the same direction. Another one, free fall. Force is exerted by the earth, isn't it? So it is the force is acting in the downward direction. The body is also coming in the downward direction. Now we will be moving to the second case. Okay. In second case, F and S are perpendicular to each other or are normal to each other. Okay. If this is case 2. In second case, force and displacement are normal to each other. Normal means what? Perpendicular to each other. Force is like this, then we will be having the displacement in the perpendicular direction. So if F and S are perpendicular, we will check what happens to theta. Perpendicular means it makes an angle 90 degree, isn't it? Perpendicular means 90 degree. How much is cos 90? Cos 90 is equal to 0. So what will be the work done? Work done will be Fs into 0. That means it will be equal to 0. So if force and displacement are perpendicular to each other, theta will be 90 degree, cos 90 is 0. So the work done will be equal to 0. So can you give examples for this where work done is 0? Consider a body moving around a circular path. We have discussed about circular motion, isn't it? So when a body is moving around a circular path, in which direction is the centripetal force acting? Centripetal force is acting inward. What about the direction of the body? The body will be moving like this, isn't it? Direction of the body is like this. That means force is this, displacement is this. Force and displacement are perpendicular to each other. So what about the work done when a body is moving in a circular path? It will be equal to 0. Okay. So work done will be 0 for a body moving around a circular path, because here the force required for circular motion is centripetal force, which is acting in the inward direction, but the direction of the body will be perpendicular to it. Now another example, when you are walking on the floor, okay, when you are considering the gravitational force will be acting in the downward direction, whereas motion is horizontal, isn't it? So when a person is moving, he is moving like this horizontally, but the gravitational force will be acting in the downward direction. Since the force, when you are considering the gravitational force as well as the displacement, motion of the body with respect to gravitational force, then theta, that is angle between force and displacement, will be 90 degree, and you can say that no work is done. Okay, so work is not done if force and displacement are perpendicular to each other. Okay, so is it clear? Now together with this, one more thing you have to keep in mind. There are two cases where work done by a body is 0. Which are they? Two cases where work done by a body is 0. First one now itself we told, that is, if force and displacement are perpendicular to each other, work done will be 0. Now the second one, if displacement is 0, no work is done. Okay, so there are two cases where work done can be 0. First one, if force is acting on a body but there is no displacement. If displacement is 0, no work is done. Then second one, if force and displacement are perpendicular to each other. Okay. So that also you should note in your book. If force and displacement are perpendicular to each other, then no work is done. Similarly, if displacement is 0, then also no work is done. Now we will move to case 3. Force and displacement are opposite to each other. Okay. If force and displacement are opposite to each other, then what about the value of theta? Force and displacement are opposite to each other. Theta will be 180 degree. Do you know how much is cos 180? Cos 180 is minus 1. Okay. Cos 180 is minus 1. So what will be our equation? W is equal to minus F into S. So if force and displacement are opposite to each other, then theta will be 180 and cos 180 is minus 1. So the work done will be given by the equation minus of F into S. So in this case, you can say that work done is negative. Okay, work done is negative. So is it clear? Work done will be negative if force and displacement are opposite to each other. Can you give an example? A simple example about the frictional force. When you are walking, you will be moving in this direction, or when a ball is rolling on a ground, force is exerted in this direction, but when you consider a ball, let this be a ball, a force is exerted on the ball and the ball is moving in this direction. So now it is an example for positive work, since the force exerted as well as the motion of the ball are in the same direction. Now consider the motion of a ball with respect to the frictional force. In which direction is the friction acting? Friction always acts opposite to the direction of motion of a body. So, if you are considering the motion of a body, either the human beings or a ball or anything. So, if a body is moving in one direction, frictional force will be acting in the opposite direction, isn't it? So, when you are considering the motion of a body with respect to frictional force, then you can say that the work done is negative. Okay. So, is it clear about negative work? Negative work means force and displacement will be opposite to each other. Then theta will be 180 degree, or cos 180 is minus 1. So, W is equal to minus of F into S. So, you can say that the work done will be negative. Okay. Then, the example what we said is about friction. So when a body is moving, it will be moving in one direction. With respect to the frictional force, you can say that the work done is negative. And one more example is given in your textbook. That is, when a ball of mass m is thrown upwards, then the displacement is opposite to the gravity. So when you are throwing a ball in the upward direction, when you are considering the motion of the ball with respect to the force which you apply, that is positive work. But when you consider the motion of the object with the gravitational force, body will be moving in the upward direction when you are throwing it, but gravitational force will be pulling it down. So, motion of an object, when you are throwing an object in the upward direction with respect to gravitational force, it is a negative work. Okay. So, is it clear about the three different cases? You have positive work, negative work, and the case where work done is equal to 0. Clear? Now consider these two graphs. Both are the graphs between force and displacement. Force taken along the y-axis and displacement taken along the x-axis. Okay. The first graph represents force displacement graph if the force is variable. That is, if the force varies, then the force displacement graph is shown here. This will be the shape of the graph, that is a straight line inclined to the x-axis. This is there only if f is variable. Instead of that, if f is a constant, you will be getting the graph as a straight line parallel to the x-axis. Okay. So here, in both the cases, we are considering force displacement graph. In the first case, we have drawn the graph such that the force is variable. If the force is variable, you will be getting a straight line inclined to the x-axis. If the force is constant, it will be a straight line parallel to the x-axis. Now, here, from this graph, we can calculate the work done, because force into displacement is work, isn't it? The area under the graph, okay? Area under the graph will give you the work done. So, if force is variable, you are getting a triangle. So, what is the area of a triangle? Half into base into height or altitude, isn't it? Half BH is the equation to calculate area of a triangle. So, if the force is variable, the area under the graph is a triangle. So, the area of that triangle will give you the work done. If the force is constant, you are getting a straight line parallel to the x-axis, and the area under the straight line will be a rectangle. Length into breadth is the area of a rectangle. So, length into breadth will give you the work done. Okay. So, it's important. Please learn this. Both are force displacement graph. Here force is variable. So, area under the curve is a triangle. Area of the triangle half BH will give you the work done. Here, if the force is constant, then you will be getting a straight line parallel to the x-axis, and the area under this is a rectangle. Area of a rectangle is length into breadth, and that will give you the work done. Now, next one is the work done due to gravity. Okay. Equation to calculate the work done due to gravity. Our equation for work is force into displacement. Now, what was the standard equation for force? From Newton's second law, we got the equation for force as F is equal to ma. A stands for acceleration. Here, A comes if the body moves in a horizontal path. Instead of that, if it is vertical motion, instead of A, we will be writing G. Why? G is the acceleration produced due to gravity. If a body is moving horizontally, it is just the acceleration. But if the body is moving vertically, that acceleration is produced by the gravitational pull. So, we will call it as acceleration due to gravity. Okay. So, force is, we are considering vertical motion. Force due to gravity means here the force, earth is exerting the force on the body and it is acting in the downward direction. That is, vertical motion is coming there. Okay. So, instead of F, I will be taking mg. Force is ma. Since it is vertical motion, instead of A, I will be taking acceleration due to gravity, which is g. Now, S is the displacement. S is used for horizontal motion. Which letter is used for vertical motion? For vertical motion, we will be using the letter H, isn't it? So, mgh is the equation to calculate work done due to gravity. Okay. So, work is force into displacement. In the case of vertical motion, that is force due to gravity, F will be mg and the displacement will be the height. So, W will be equal to mgh. Okay. Now comes about the units of work. Work is force into displacement, isn't it? Work is force into displacement. What is the SI unit for force? It is Newton. What is the SI unit for displacement? It is meter. This Newton meter can be called as what? Joule. When you are writing the symbol, it should be in capital letters since it is the name of a scientist. If you are writing the full name, it should start with small letter. The entire thing should be in small letters. So, Newton meter, Newton meter or joule, we will call joule as the SI unit for work. Now, how can you define 1 joule? When will you get the work done as 1 joule? If force is 1 Newton and displacement is 1 meter, isn't it? If force is 1 meter and displacement is 1 Newton, if the force is 1 Newton and displacement is 1 meter, we will be getting the work done as 1 joule. So how will you define 1 joule? 1 joule is the work done when a force of 1 Newton displaces a body by 1 meter. Okay? When a force of 1 Newton displaces a body by 1 meter, then the work done will be 1 joule. Now, what about the CGS unit? CGS unit of force is dyne. CGS unit of displacement is centimeter. So, dyne centimeter, and this dyne centimeter is known as erg. Okay? So, I think this is a new term for you. So, keep this term in mind. CGS unit of work is erg. SI unit is Newton. SI unit is joule and CGS unit is erg. Joule means Newton meter, dyne centimeter is erg. And there is a relation connecting these two. 1 joule is equal to 10 raised to 7 erg. Okay. Relation connecting Newton and dyne is 1 Newton is equal to 10 raised to 5 dyne. Already we learned that. Here 1 meter is also coming. So it will become 10 raised to 7. So 1 joule is equal to 10 raised to 7 erg. So is it clear? So with this we completed the topic work. Okay, thank you.